I've got the time if you do, Mario. I appreciate it.
Somebody's back there is giving me a nice photo bombing, but it's okay.
Photo bomb. Every time I do one, there's always a photo bomb.
That's okay. That's good. United States Pizza Team. There you go. Hold on one second.
Yep.
Oh, I can record it myself. Oh, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. But you know what I'll do is even better. You record and you send it to me.
That works for me. I'm doing it right now, so.
You work here. Look, welcome to Chicago, man.
All right, welcome to Chicago.
That's it. Okay,
all right, this is the Chef's Corner, and we're here with famous TV culinary judge, Chef Mario Rizzotti. Mario, how are you doing today, sir?
Ciao, Brian. Ciao a tutti. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening. Depends what time you're watching this. I'm doing very good. I'm actually finally decided to take some time off from my tour and finally found some time for you, Brian, for this beautiful interview. So I'm doing good. Weather is still holding great in Chicago, so we can't complain.
That's perfect. You know, it's kind of getting chilly down here in the South too. So as long as you can keep some of that warmth out there and get outside and make some pies and just have a good time, that's great.
There you go. It's, you know, as long as you keep your pizza temperature at 900 degrees, you're okay.
900 degrees. So Mario, what is your earliest pizza memory that you can remember? Just
well, I think that
smells anything.
I can tell you, Brian, probably I think I got pizza before I got milk.
Wow, okay.
That's it. So my point is that I'm pretty sure that, you know, being born and raised in Italy, it is basically one of the main food that you see in everybody's family. Either mama's making it or somebody else is making it, or you go buy it by the slice like I used to do at Al Taglio in Roma. So I have to be honest with you, probably, you know, as soon as I had a chance to bite on something, I think that one of the first food could be pizza. There is no doubt about it.
So was it the taste, the smell, or just the availability that kind of drew you to it initially?
Well, you know, as I mentioned before, I think I'm lucky, and because I was born Italian in Italy. So therefore, that is the home of pizza, and there was no worries of where and what kind of pizza would it be and when would it be. You know what I mean? So that's the point. And that's why I try to tell everybody, when you're Italian, you're born in Italy, and you get to enjoy pizza every day, for you is not as much as a new discovery like in America it is every day. Every day we're coming up with something new. Mm-hmm. Recently, as you know, people are starting to talk about the Roman pizza, for example, which, I mean, I'm Roman, and I'm pretty sure we had it there since the Roman Empire. So there is nothing new for us, anything else that comes up.
So actually, that was going to be my next question. Where are you from? So you're Roman, you're from Rome.
Born and raised in Rome, and then also I grew up in Gaeta, which is a little south of Rome, where actually we do have a home, and Gaeta is very well known because it's got a beautiful 1 mile of clean beach out there that you can enjoy, and plus also is home of what we call the Gaeta olives, which some of you, if it makes pizza, you'll be familiar with that. Those are great olives to put on your pizza as well.
Oh, for sure. So how did you get started in the business? Have you ever owned any restaurants? Or, I mean, what was like your first job? Were you washing dishes?
That's correct. First of all, no, I don't own any business because I'm smart. I'm sorry, but, you know, if you want a life and if you want to enjoy your future and your family, with all the respect due, unfortunately, owning a place is going to be basically marry the place. And I respect everybody that does that, but that wasn't for me. But when I came here 23 years ago, I started to wash dishes in a small restaurant in Glenview, Illinois. It was called Trattoria Ginotto. And there was my first place where I went there. Actually, I went to Carlo Di Carlo's house, and he was asking me to help him out because every day somebody wasn't showing up. So from just coming to vacation, I ended up to work. And then I started to grow the passion for authentic Italian cuisine because, as you already know, we have a lot of great American Italian cuisine in this country, and American Italian pizza in this country, but we don't have too many authentic Italian in all the 50 states. And, you know better than me, in Italy, there is no fettuccine alfredo, chicken Vesuvio, meatballs on top of pasta, marinara sauce, Italian beef, Caesar salad. Therefore, it's something that I took to my heart, and that's why I travel throughout the country now, educating people to understand the difference between a Ferrari and a red car.
What was the worst pizzeria or restaurant job that you've ever had when you came over here? Either the place, it doesn't have to be either the position that you had there or the place that you worked at.
It's better to name the fact that, again, I believe that good or bad in my life, thanks to all of them, I am what I am right now. So talking bad about it is not going to help me. So thank you for having such a dirty kitchen, and thank you for forcing me to leave that place. And thank you for giving me a chance to work to another place that then opened up the door to me to where I am right now, which is, as you know, being a judge and Iron Chef and being an Italian culinary expert. So it is not nice to name the place. I can tell you that, I wish at times that people can change the entrance of their restaurants and turn the back door into the front door and let them walk into your dining room through the kitchen. So you can really see if the kitchen, it is clean, it is as well respected as the front of the house it is.
All right, that's actually, I love that answer. Like to have them come in through the back entrance, just to let them see what they're going to be getting fed from.
That's correct. And then sometimes you got to be careful because, as you already know, there is a lot of people that they will be probably shocked to see what's going on in the back of the house. And, and again, I'm not pointing finger to anyone specifically. I know that there is a lot of beautiful, spotless places, and I'm not expecting you guys to walk through the back of the kitchen on a Saturday night, probably when you're swamped. But, during the week, if you get a chance, ask your restaurateur to have them take you a tour of your kitchen. Just, to see if that beautiful pizza is actually even represented with the beautiful back of the house.
Well, it's not even just a bad bit of information or a tip to give people. Like expect every person is going to come from the back entrance.
That's correct.
At that point, then they always expect to have a clean place. Something just to get people to strive for.
That is correct. And it's funny because that will give you every day, the first thought is to make sure that everything is clean as you expect it to see. So.
Exactly. Well, on the other hand, what's kind of the best restaurant job you've ever had? You can either name the place or the position, but
restaurant jobs.
What's been the most fun you've had?
The restaurant jobs that I went through are, I consider all of them the best, and I'll tell you why. I'm not trying to be politically correct, but if it wasn't for each one of them, whatever I was, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be what I am right now. So I did work at Tuscany on Taylor Street. I did work on Tuscany in Highland Park. I did work in many other restaurants that they were actually Clark Street Bistro, Trattoria Ginotto. I worked at Gordon Restaurant, which was a tremendous fine dining place that under Gordon Sinclair, I learned a lot, and it was actually a wonderful place to learn how to run a restaurant and how to actually going through a dining room with 23 different chefs in 23 years and still be at the top. So that was actually a great experience. I'll say that probably the best of the best I can say is when I got fired from a restaurant on Taylor Street, and that actually opened up my doors to actually a new job, and then start to work for a food company, and it got me then on Iron Chef because of my passion and my knowledge about Italian ingredients.
So your best job is the one you got fired from that led you to the path that you're on now.
So it's the only one I got fired from, number one. Number two is also the one that again, yes, I got fired, but then later on, they also found out that there was a mistake, but it's okay. I say, you know what? Thank you very much for making the mistakes. I mean, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here right now. So don't take it bad, and, let's move forward.
Well, people make mistakes, and that's fine. And even if people get fired, sometimes it's inevitable, but it leads you to that better path. So, I guess let's just skip this next question and jump ahead a little bit. So that firing led you to your path of being on Iron Chef. How did that happen?
Well, first of all, I did work also for Accademia Barilla for several number of years.
Oh, wow.
And there I developed a knowledge for authentic Italian ingredients. As you know, there is a big difference between what's real Italian and what's fake. Mm-hmm. I respect everybody that use it. My job throughout the country right now is even to educating people to understand the difference. Right. So for all the listeners and the viewers right now, I have a great tip for you, and then I'm going to jump to the Iron Chef question. But every time you want to buy something that is Italian, if it says on the label made in Italy, packed in Italy, or imported from Italy, there is not much of Italian in there. So to be Italian can only state the three magic words, which are product of Italy. So therefore, make sure you open up your eyes, especially if you think you're doing 100% Italian and you think your flour is actually Italian, or if it doesn't say product of Italy, sadly, but surely is not Italian.
Okay.
And with this knowledge, then we were doing a party at the house of Art Smith. Art Smith used to be Oprah Winfrey chef, now very renowned chef throughout the country. And during this party, we were launching a line of product for Giada De Laurentiis. Art and my former boss, Kim Said, they introduced me to this gentleman that had happened to be the vice president of the Food Network. And they talked very highly about me because of my passion. They wanted me to actually try an episode. And here we are. I'm a judge on Chef America.
So they initially just brought you in just through
One
being
episode,
talked up to be.
for the first time, then the second season, the other season 2 episodes, then the other season after that 3 episodes, and then it became 6 episodes per season.
All right, and that's as a judge.
As a judge, yes.
Okay.
As you know, also we do rotate throughout the Iron Chef, so therefore you're not gonna see always the same judges like
Right.
Master Chef, but there will be a rotation of judges, and actually the show is back now on TV this year. This is the first season I am not in there because they actually taped it in LA instead of taping it in New York, and also because I was running around like a maniac with my food tour that is for the love of Italian food, and therefore I had to just get that done, and hopefully if they're going to do a second side of this taping, I will be probably able to go this year.
Okay, that's great. Well, I mean, you got in there and you've made your name. So, I mean, at this point, what do you think was your biggest success? I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to word this. What's your biggest success that you can let people know about when they apply or that they can apply to their businesses? It's really, it's coming from your different background.
Yeah.
What somebody can apply to their pizzeria operation.
What they can apply to the pizzeria and probably to any business is literally never let go. Number one. I mean, I was a dishwasher, guys, 23 years ago, and I wasn't planning to remain a dishwasher. And my English was very poor. So therefore, I started to learn English on a closed caption on TV and making mistakes and pronouncing names right and wrong. And therefore, I just learned right now, Brian, and it's funny. I just learned about probably 2 months ago that I've been saying this word wrong for about 23 years. And I tell everybody that I use fresh herbs for my dressing or for my pizza. And then all of a sudden they told me that it's not herbs, it's actually herbs. And then I goes, you guys got me confused.
But we have
is that hospital or is that hospital? And is that home or is that home? And then now I'm going to start everything over again. I'm like, couldn't you guys make it a little bit easier on me? But it's okay.
I feel
Never let go, Brian. Number 2, I think that there is an ingredient that you will see this phrase also in my cookbook coming up in next year. And there is an ingredient that is never listed in any one of the recipes that we see. And I think it's very important, and I think it should be the number 1 ingredient. And it's called passion. If you're not passionate for what you do in it, it really is not going to be the representation of yourself. It's never going to be that flavor profile that you expect, because if you do it just because you got to do it, it's never going to taste as good when it comes from your heart and your passion for the cuisine that you're applying and your pizza that you're making.
I mean, passion is the number 1 thing that we always look at over here too, but sometimes people just get stuck on the guidelines and just do it by the numbers.
That's what they do it. But again, if they really throw some passion in there, it can change a lot of lives. It can change a lot of ideas about the food, and it can change also a lot of conception, the way that the people understand and what they want to see about your business. You know what I mean? So that's important.
So what do you think is maybe like one mistake that you've made in growing your business or your brand, the brand of Mario Rizzotti, that maybe somebody can apply to a pizzeria operation too?
Okay, so pizza-wise and any business-wise, I will tell everybody that when you have your day off, have your day off. It's a mistake that I applied over and over to my business. And then after all, I learned the lesson. So if your day, and it's a day off and it's a Sunday, just stay home with your family, shut off your phone, and hopefully you've done a great job to begin with, which is the fact that if you have people working there for you, you must have trained it the proper way. If you are worried about it, that something is going to go wrong because you're not going to go there, is because number one, and that might be the number one problem, is you could not find the right help. But number two, you must have probably not trained them right. So my biggest mistake, and it brought me into a car accident that made me change my life, is the fact that if you're off, enjoy your day off as much as you can, because those days, those moments with your family, with your kids, with your dog, they're not going to come back.
Wow, I mean, I've heard that a lot of times. I've had bosses say, take the time off because you need it when you want to work to get this job done. But I mean, I think that comes to heart, is that take the time off. Like you said, those moments aren't coming back. So
no, they're not. And as you notice right now, most of my answers are not probably what everybody probably hears here and there. But the good thing is that we need to apply it to our life. We need to make sure, today I talked to another pizzaiolo from Chicago on Randolph, and he was telling me, he said, I'm stressed out. I have so many things going on. And I'm saying, enjoy your day off. You got to unplug, unfortunately, because then you're not going to be fresh enough. If you have a chance, even during your working day, to go to your desk and just, for 2-3 minutes, 15 minutes, shut everything off, put your head on the desk and take a 15-minute nap to unplug, recharge, and get a little bit more energy for yourself, I think that is the best bet.
Well, I'll tell you what, my boss is going to love that you said that, because she's always telling me that when I skip my lunches. So you have to take them. So. Yeah.
But it's good that she actually cares about her employees.
She does. They all do. We have great bosses here at PMQ. So let's just jump into this now. Let's get back into the cooking. We've only scratched the surface of what is Mario Rizzotti with, your philosophies and your beliefs. But what inspires your recipes? I mean, you come up with recipes, what kind of inspires you to get back to the basics and just cook?
The good thing is this. First of all, I want to say this out loud. I am just tired to hear people, this is my recipe. I think that in 2017 years, somebody else has done it before you. So it is not your recipe. It is a recipe that you probably put your twist into it, or your addition to whatever was originally. But really, in 2017 years, somebody hasn't done the recipe yet. Are you kidding me? I mean, go back to the Roman Empire, even better. So therefore, my idea is I like to represent recipe that they are close to my heart and my roots and my origin, and trying to educate people to understand that simplicity is the key of my recipe. Because simplicity, it is the key of quality. And quality and quantity will never marry together. So therefore, you gotta be careful when you make your dishes. And when I do some of the cooking classes that I do at Cooking Skills Academy up in Itasca, a lot of people sometimes looking at me and they try the recipe, and I tell everybody, my cooking classes are simple. My mom used to say, 6 ingredients are the top that you can do for Italian cuisine. And then she used to even say, be careful, because 6 ingredients are already too many. So, and this is also transferred into their conversation that we're doing right now about pizza. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I go in some restaurants and I see garbage pizza, like they call them this way. Like, the pizza that has 1,800 million toppings. What are you planning to taste at the end after all these toppings? I mean, wouldn't it be better to have a nice pizza with a nice slice of prosciutto on top of it, and then you can enjoy the great prosciutto that right on top of the fresh, out of the oven pizza starts to melt a little bit the fat and it gets a little softer? Or would you like to enjoy 1,500 million ingredients and you don't even know what is going to be the flavor that you're supposed to taste? I'm a big fan of simplicity, as I mentioned to you. And the best thing that we can probably put on pizza, as I told you, is like few ingredients, but very good. And I go for quality better than quantity. And, it's sad to see some people, but that one is cheaper. Okay, well, it's cheaper really means it's cheaper. So therefore, sometimes you look at the big picture. For $1 more a pound, you're not gonna close, but you give a better product. So,
well, I like how you say, just how you were describing is like, what are you going to taste when you have 10 toppings versus 6? And like you said, was your mother or your grandmother, 6 is already too much.
yeah, too many.
Yeah. So you want to be able to taste each individual flavor.
Yeah, that is inspiration that got me on here. So all these recipes that I make, they are recipes that somebody else have made before, but I put my heart and passion into it, and that translates in better quality and a better result. Sometimes you see people that, I do my cooking classes. Sometimes I do like simple thing like pasta carbonara sauce, and they look at me and they goes, "Oh, but why there is no peas? Or how come my pasta turns into scrambled eggs?" Because there are simple steps that peas has never been part of a carbonara sauce. And the other simple step is that when you do the carbonara, you want to put your eggs while your pasta is right out of the pot and mix with the pancetta or most likely guanciale. And then you put the egg on top of it, and it will melt right there, and it will make the carbonara. But we used to do scrambled eggs. We used to see fettuccine alfredo, chicken Vesuvio. So therefore, my job, which will never end, is to keep educating people in this country from pizza to pasta to understand all the real flavors of Italy that they're supposed to be represented through this food.
Again, off script real quick. The photo bomber. Fettuccine Alfredo, is that something that's not existing in Italy?
Do you want me to leave now, or do you have another question?
What about spaghetti? Like we know it here, spaghetti and meatballs. I heard that's not even.
Fettuccine Alfredo, there is a restaurant in Rome, it's called Alfredo, that does the fettuccine, but it's completely made, completely different than what you see over here. And it's not all that cream floating. And the fettuccine don't need to learn how to swim in the sauce. And therefore it's different. The spaghetti with meatballs, I don't know, but from where I come from, either you eat the spaghetti or you eat the meatballs. You put them on top of each other, and and then I'm leaving.
I'm sorry. No, stay. That's what I heard too. That's what I thought.
Hey, I respect American Italian cuisine dearly, and trust me, I enjoy Caesar salad. But sometimes, I see some of these recipes where they call for some ingredients like all this garlic that is being thrown into Italian pizza and Italian cuisine. And I'm thinking, in Italy, garlic is used to give to flavor the food, not to kill the flavor of the food. Sometimes you eat some of the dishes, the only thing you taste is garlic, and then the waiters even have the guts to say, "Oh, but by the way, we're using organic vegetables." Well, save you money, because with all this garlic, I cannot even taste it. So it's like, again, simplicity goes back to the key. And yes, garlic can be good for you guys. It can be good for the blood. It can save you from vampires. But culinary-wise, needs to be used to give flavor to food, not to kill the flavor of the food.
I love that. Yeah, that's I think a mistake a lot of people make too, is that just garlic is a crutch and they overuse it. So,
some people, Brian, they even tell me, "Oh, Mario, but I love garlic." And I say, "I respect that you love it, but please just make sure that you use it the proper way, not to abuse it, because when you abuse garlic, it's the end of your recipe." So that's what I'm thinking.
It's 100% correct, man. And I appreciate you putting that out there for everybody to see. It's not just me saying that. It's Mario Rizzotti.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
So I see on your site that you're doing a city restaurant tour as part of your For the Love of Italian Food tour. Yes. And as a brand ambassador, what do you look for in a good restaurant or pizzeria? What are some of the qualities that they absolutely have to have before you're even going to answer their email or go visit them?
I try to work with anyone that really cares about the tour, because the tour is about educating customers or your customers, and have your customer try some recipe that they probably never tried it before, that they have to be authentic Italian. So from pizza to pasta to bread, we try to bring recipes that even if they have it on the menu, I'm going to show you the Italian way that we do it. Therefore, the customer can really appreciate it. And I have seen customers getting out of the restaurant, open out the door, pop their head, look left and right, come back inside, and then I ask him, "Where did you go?" So, "I thought that was in Italy, but I'm not. That's what I like to see. I like to see the people that really enjoy. Because one thing, Brian, really bothers me is people coming back to me and say, I've been to Italy. I've been in this beautiful pizzeria that there was hidden in this corner, in this beautiful place, and it was hard to find, and there was no menu, and we had to eat what they had, and mom and pop came out, and we enjoyed it. It was the best pizza we ever had. Then they come back here, and they settle for crap. Excuse my English. Because it is literally not the same thing. I mean, a pizza about this big, then you tell me the pizza is fattening. How come in Italy we eat pizza every day and nobody is actually as fat as we have in this country? So there is a lot of respect for the ingredients, also because Italy is a non-GMO country, so there is a different quality and flavor profile. But if you go to Italy and if you try the pizza that way, go back to your pizzaiolo and tell them, hey, you know what? It's a Monday night. It looks like you're slow. I went to Italy and I had this beautiful pizza with arugula, parmigiano, and prosciutto di Parma. Can you try to duplicate it for me? I know it's a pizza that you see now everywhere, but I'm just mentioning one to make the life of the viewer easy. And that's one thing that I invite everybody to do. If you go to Italy, if you enjoy the pizza, if you go to Roma, you go to Napoli, you go to Milano, Torino, Roma, Gaeta, whatever, just try to help people, convince them to understand that there is a better pizza sometimes, or there is a different pizza actually, because we are nobody to judge what creation you can come up with that, or I can come up with that. But at least enjoy it, but try to also have the same flavors that you had there. It's very important that you understand. I mean, pizza is part of the Mediterranean diet, guys. I mean, it's one of the healthiest diets on the planet. But what we get sometimes in some of the pizzeria in the United States, I don't think it's going to help our diet.
Well, as you've already said right now, is that you believe less is more. Quality ingredients. Is there anything else? Because there is a bigger surge of people trying to do authentic Italian pizzas in pizzerias across the nation. Is there,
yes,
aside from those two tips, is there one tip that you would give these guys to kind of strive for? You know, aside from having their customers come in and tell them what to try to make, what would you tell them to like shoot for besides less is more and quality ingredients?
I would appreciate, number one, to also put on the front door an Italian style pizza or Italian inspired pizza, because making an Italian pizza here is not going to be the same. I mean, it's not because the pizzaiolo is not good. It's not because the ingredients are not the same, but the mother ingredient, which is the two mother ingredients for the pizza, which are air and water, they taste completely different. And to double, to actually kind of reinforce my point, is the same thing when you go to New York and you go to Chicago, and their pizzas are completely different. And their pizza, the difference also if you're trying to do a New York pizza in Chicago, because the water is different. The water in New York is not as good as, or is not as the same as the one in Chicago. Right. So definitely, please start to also put on your menu. Don't put down Italian pizza. Don't put all those maps of Italy where you're missing the regions. Be who you are. And, you know, even call them a Brian inspired pizza. But, you know, at that point, you know, it's just have the customer enjoy whatever you want to portray. But unfortunately, the name Italian doesn't work for all the pizzas.
So, I mean, knowing it's Neapolitan pizza, it's governed by a very strict set of rules. Now, you cannot claim to be Neapolitan unless you have a more or less a license from the
APN or VPN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what you're saying is like, say, Neapolitan style or Neapolitan inspired. You can just add a couple words to your, instead of saying Italian pizza, say Italian style or Italian inspired. So people don't expect what they're eating at your place is what they get in Italy.
You know, I'm lucky to be in Chicago, where, as you know, we have Spacca Napoli, we have Forno Rosso, we have Sapori Napoletani, we have Bar Cargo, we have Pizza Metro. So those are pizzerias that they really do a good job, and probably they are sometimes even better than what we find in Italy. But again,
wow,
the problem is there is so many pizzerias in Italy that they're not as good as probably what you find here. But again, I named 5. It's just on the tip of my fingers. You know what I mean? So therefore, for everybody else out there, just, you know, try to do your best. But again, just to call it Italian is not enough. Just give them a an adjective, just Italian style or Italian inspired or whatever you can, because it is hard to make it taste as good as Italian pizzas. So.
Okay. Well, so you have a recipe for us, right?
I did have a recipe, and the recipe is what my mom keeps making for me, used to make for me when she was alive. And I decided to do this recipe because it's a little different. So it's a pizza that doesn't call for tomato sauce.
Okay.
It doesn't call for mozzarella. So there was a Roman style pizza with patate e rosmarino, which is potato and rosemary.
Oh, you're killing me here. So you're going to be sending me this written down recipe. Okay.
Yes.
Well, potatoes and rosemary, you just got my heart.
Patate rosmarino or pizza bianca patate rosmarino, because again, those are still pizza, and it doesn't need to have a tomato sauce to be called pizza. You have to adjust that to the pizza it's an art, and that art can be represented with or without tomato sauce, or with or without mozzarella as well. So I will definitely send you the recipe. I had to dig in and talk to my brother Massimo to try to get them from my mom's drawer that, after she passed away, we have all kept in there. So you're definitely going to get it. And I want you to try to make it. And I wanted to show your viewer, your listener, and the reader how actually easy it is and how tasty can it be. And even better, guys, it's going to taste better the day after.
Okay. Oh, the better than on the day after is great, because in America, as you know, we like to eat most of it. And then we also, leftover pizza is kind of our staple.
Yes.
So just off the record here real quick, you will be giving me is there a specific dough recipe that goes with this?
Yes, I have actually. I did start to type it yesterday, and I have you on a draft off the record. And
okay. All right.
I'll mail it to you in 3 Italian minutes.
And also, my editor likes this many ounces or grams of potato.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you grams. You guys do the ounces. I have to be.
That works for me as long as I have an amount.
Yeah, I always have a concern, because believe it or not, when you translate grams in ounces or in fluid ounces, whatever is the case, believe it or not, there is a chart that you gotta follow, because 5 grams of extra virgin olive oil, it doesn't translate exactly in 5 ounces. But if you're looking into the translation, you gotta go in translation of what olive oil translate into that. So. Right.
Yeah. So, as close as you can get me, and then we'll test it here. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, this is for January. Actually, no, this was going to be for March, but I think I'm going to push it to April, because I want to do somebody else in March for St. Louis style.
That's fine.
So I have plenty of time to play with this to make your mother proud. And that's what I'm looking to do.
You have to come to Chicago and let me taste it. But
I can probably find time to come to Chicago before then and have you teach me.
That would be good. That would be fun. You do the dough, I'll do the rest.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. All right. So moving on from that. So who created this particular recipe? We just mentioned it's your mother that you're going to give to us.
Yeah, my mom made it, but again, she didn't create it, because again, I don't believe anybody creates anything new these days. Somebody else, 2017 years of this planet has been here, or more actually, millions of years. Somebody must have done it before us.
Right. And I was going to say, what was the inspiration? Obviously, family, old world flavors, simplicity. That's just
instead of the word old world flavors, I would say probably authentic Italian flavors, because the word old world is translating into American Italian cuisine. Okay. And it's not the same as authentic Italian. Again, both very good, both fully respected, but again,
so the inspiration here was authentic Italian flavors.
Correct. Authentic Italian flavor, as close as possible to you can do to duplicate what my mom used to do in Italy when we were kids. And, when we were standing there by that oven and even willing to burn our fingers to take the pizza out, because when she used to put it out and let it by the window, let it cool off, by the time they cooled off, probably half of it would have been gone. And me and my brother would have probably burned my tongue already 2-3 times.
Oh, that's perfect. So, just say that somebody watches this and they want to put this pizza into their pizzeria. How would a pizzeria market this recipe? Is it seasonal? Is it tied to a particular event? Obviously not. I mean, you can get potatoes any time of year, right?
Yeah, I can call them probably one of those ideas where you can have it again, vegetarian. You can turn it into a healthy and earthy pizza. And again, it depends how much rosemary you put in there. You're definitely going to have a big difference in flavor profile. And you top it up with a drizzle of very good high-end extra virgin olive oil, and then a good pinch of sea salt, and that will be do the job. I mean, again, we're going back to simplicity. This pizza has 2 ingredients on top. It has potatoes and rosemary. I mean, and people sometimes look at me though, and they always say, "Oh, what else? What else? Well, why do I need to add more stuff when the flavors are already in there?" And it's the same thing when I go get a sandwich in Chicago, and they start to say, "Would you like lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, peppers?" No, I just want a slice of mozzarella and a slice of prosciutto. That's nothing else. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. But that's why, because then when you're adding all these other flavors, you really don't get the flavor of the good quality of prosciutto and mozzarella that you have there. And the same thing for your pizza. I mean, use good quality products. I know it is hard. I know sometimes probably customer wants to pay for cheaper products because they don't want to spend the money. It could happen. There is that clientele out there. But that is why I don't have a restaurant and neither a pizzeria, because if I would have an authentic Italian pizzeria tomorrow, I would close after tomorrow.
You'd just be saying, this is how you eat it, and that's it.
That's why it's called Italian, and that's why I don't need to change it because you like it that way. I appreciate it. I respect that you like it that way. But at this point, why do you have a menu? Why do you have a list of pizzas if the customer is going to start to tell you, I want this, I don't want that? Those are the pizzas. In Italy, you walk in a pizzeria and there is the same menu. Quattro stagioni, pizza diavola, margherita, bufalina, whatever you want to call them. And nobody's going to say, can you please take that out and put this in? Can I have pepperoni, which in Italy we still don't know what it is. We will call it, probably better off call them salami. And no, this is the pizzas you have on the menu. I mean, try to stick with whatever is the menu. If there is a menu, there is a reason. If they don't want to put a menu, then you do whatever you want.
I've worked with people here, and I've tried to tell them about customization. But, man, I tell you what, I think you just kind of sold me on that argument right there. It's like, that's the menu, that's what it is.
Why do you have a menu, Brian? At this point, don't have a menu. Tell them this is buy your pie, add your ingredients. I mean, why do you have to spend the time to even type it and create it if you want people to change it? I mean, you want to be known for what you do. I want to go back to Brian's Pizzeria, or I want to go back to Forno Rosso, Spacca Napoli, Sapori Napoletani, Pizza Metro. I go back to Pizza Metro, for example, for my potato rosemary pizza. It's the closest I find in this country that is close to my mom's flavors. And if I have to change it, that wouldn't be the same. There wouldn't be nothing particular of going. If all the pizzeria can adapt themselves to the customer, there is nothing unique that will actually make you go there.
The customer's already changed.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I get that. So, as far as just this is it. Potatoes and rosemary. What's the dough like on this particular recipe?
Well, you can use a 00 flour. If you can find a use and all purpose, I don't want the customer or the viewers to actually, or the listening to try to go and hunt for the 00, but it's easy to find this day. Live yeast, a little bit of warm water, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and sea salt.
Is it a traditional, like your round pizza, or is it more like a Sicilian?
You might want to do it. It's more like a round, almost like, let's say, thin crust. Round, but not like a Neapolitan, because in Neapolitan in the middle tend to be a little bit soft, a little bit different, which is a characteristic of a Neapolitan as well. But in this case, the Roman one is going to be almost like, first of all, we can make it round at home, but also at home we had our rectangular pans to do this one as well. So it's up to you how you want to make it, but in any case, you can do it also round at home, and make sure that when you start to see your little crust start to get a little darker color, like, light brown, boom, time to go.
All right, so basically it sounds like any shape you want. Yes. Almost like the thin crust version of a Roman style pizza, right? You have your Roman style, which is thicker and airy.
It is a Roman style pizza, which is not necessarily thicker. There is a lot of gray areas on what Roman style pizza is.
Right. You have the al taglio, which is what
al taglio. That's what you had an article a few months ago on the magazine, as a matter of fact, and they was talking about pizza al taglio. So al taglio, it's by the slice, because like some pizzeria are doing right now, like, I think Barcargo or Bonci is doing right now. They actually going by, you choose how big you want the piece, they're going to weigh it, and then you're going to pay for it, and then you're going to eat it. It's easier to do in Italy than in Chicago, to be honest with you, because, I don't see anywhere outside of Bonci Pizzeria to try to walk around with their pizza in wintertime, because it's 20 below. I'm not going to do that, that's for sure. But it's something that it's very unique, very original, and hopefully people start to understand a little bit more about real, authentic Italian tradition of cooking. But if you can get it this thick as well, this thick, that's it. You know what I mean? So the important is the flavor profiles that you can get out of it. And then again, it doesn't go cooked in a wood brick oven, because it will be a different kind of cooking. But my suggestion is try it at home in your regular oven and enjoy it that way. And then you get your inspiration to what to do in your pizzeria as well.
So the traditional Roman style that people think of is al taglio, which is by the slice in a long rectangular pan, usually pretty thick but airy and light. Now you're talking about something that's a lot thinner and crispier. What would that?
Do it at home, yes.
Right. So what would that name be? The Roman or the Italian name for that style of pizza be for these people?
You know what? It's I would say that it's actually a pizza that we cook in Rome. Because again, the style of it, again, now we're getting like people to telling you too thick, not too thick, too thick, not too thick. Then therefore, it's something that my mom did at home all the time.
All right, so I guess we're actually to the lightning round game.
Yes.
Now, there was some.
Waiting for this moment.
I'm going to give you 3 ingredients. Just quick off the top of your head, what would you do with these? And honestly, it doesn't have to be pizza, but
I'll start with pizza, and if it doesn't come out, I'll get it somewhere else.
We are going to start our lightning round with Mario Rizzotti here, and we're going to start with the first ingredient, capers.
I'm ready. First, capers. Capers, definitely you can put in a nice pizza. There's no doubt about it, with a little bit of arugula, or if it's not, you can put them also. You can make actually a bruschetta pizza. You can invent it out. You can mix some of the capers and some of the tomatoes freshly done on top of the pizza once you're done, and that's a very, very good ingredient. I remember going pick up capers when I was a kid. And for all the viewers and the listener, or whoever is actually here watching us right now, capers is a flower. So if you let the caper go, it turns out it's a beautiful, beautiful flower. And therefore, we were actually in charge to go and get these capers off the walls, basically, where they grew. And, we can use them everywhere. In America, still, a lot of people don't like capers. It's like anchovies. People are kind of scared about it, but they're actually very good, and they give the perfect saltiness and flavor profile to your dish. So let's invent a new pizza, stay in Italian style or Italian-inspired, but we call them a pizza bruschetta. Why not? Extra virgin olive oil, chopped tomatoes, capers.
Boom. Simple. And I like how that one goes back to your simplicity. Yeah. All right, so let's do another one here, broccoli rabe.
Broccoli rabe, definitely a pizza with mozzarella and broccoli rabe on top of it. That's perfect. You just it's typical. You find a lot of in Naples too. So, the famous, if you can switch broccoli rabe and call it friarielli, would be even better. Would be a nice pizza. I would do broccoli rabe, and I'm going to put anchovies on top of it as well. And you know what? I'm going to put capers too.
Nice. All right. So you combined the 2 ingredients so far, plus that one that nobody ever wants to touch, anchovies.
Yes.
The black sheep of the pizza ingredient family.
Of any kind of family for some reason. But, it's funny because, and also when you do it for cooking and you do it in your pan for not pizza, but for other things, 99% of the time it tends to melt and there's nothing left in there. So therefore, it's like Caesar salad. The people want Caesar salad, no anchovies, and anchovies is part of the paste. It's part of the dressing already. So
last ingredient here in the lightning round for Mario Rizzotti. This is an Americanized, I think, ingredient, corn.
Bye.
Oh, I lost him. I'm sorry. No. That was Mario Rizzotti.
I don't know the flavor of corn, number one, because it's all genetically modified in this country. So therefore, I don't know what the real flavor is supposed to be. Corn.
Say like a sweet corn. You've been here long enough. I'm sure you've tasted a sweet corn.
I know. You know what I'll do is, at the worst case scenario, if I gotta invent something new that has nothing to do with Italian pizza, I will actually throw it in the dough, mix it in the dough, and trying to actually be part of the crust. So
Yeah.
like to have sweet corn bread, then we're trying to have a sweet corn pizza dough, and then see what happens. I have no idea what's gonna happen after the cooking in such a high temperature. Probably they turn into popcorn or they burn, I don't know. But it's definitely a good idea. Or we can do a pizza, and again, Italian style or Italian inspired. So we do buffalo mozzarella, we do arugula, corn on top of it, and that would be just simple as this. But an extra virgin olive oil at the end just to finish it up.
Actually, I like both of those. I really like the idea of putting it in the crust. And what you can do is, I didn't say how you had to use it. You can grind it down because, I mean, like you said, cornbread. All right. I tell you what, that was a really spectacular lightning round. I appreciate it, Mario. I just have a few more questions for you here. So how did you become a brand ambassador? And actually, who do you represent as a brand ambassador?
Well, you know, I became a brand ambassador because a lot of people start to see that there is a passion coming out of me for Italian ingredients in general. And I try to do my best because I want the American population to be 100% educated about this. Now, the good thing of this job that I have as an Italian culinary expert is that we have 50 states, and there is only, you know, 12 months in a year, and I can do probably a visit per state per month. So jokes aside, I want it to be the job of my life, and I want to educate people to understand the difference where I come from. Again, it's easier to be an Italian born in Italy, living with Italian ingredients, and it's very hard to be an Italian here, born here, an American Italian, which lives off of the tradition that the grandparents, great-grandparents brought in here. So the job that I have, it is a job that comes from the passion that I wanted to get to everybody. Everybody leaves at the end, it was like, oh my God, that was entertaining. Yes, you made us laugh. But yes, you give us education on things that we would never knew about. Nobody ever told me the product of Italy was Italian. Nobody ever told me that this olive oil was not Italian. Mm-hmm. And my job is not to make you change your mind on what you buy. If you like a non-Italian product, please buy it. I just want to make sure you're aware of the difference and the fact that it's not worth it as much as an Italian product. So it should be charged to you at cheaper or less expensive price. Right. So it's never going to end, this job, Brian, because every day there is something new. It is prosciutto, it can be Parmigiano Reggiano, it can be mozzarella. And, you know, I can keep talking to people about mozzarella too. There is some pizzerias in Chicago. They use buffalo mozzarella, flow in from Italy every Thursday, and it gets there right for the weekend. And that's a real buffalo mozzarella. Then some of the pizzeria use the big brick that I don't know where they got the name mozzarella from, because I never seen anything of that level, that kind. But at least people know the difference. Together with my business partner, Benny Sidhu, we opened up Diavolare, which you see the logo back here. So we're trying to bring products that people can enjoy that they're not 100% known in the United States. For example, we're going to start to bring, we already brought a black rice from Sardinia, red rice from Sardinia. We're bringing a whole line of products that by the time that this interview will air will be available in the United States. It's a line of product all produced in Italy, all products in Italy, cooked in Italy, packed in Italy, and they will actually show you the difference in flavor profile from the moment you open it. We're bringing in a product that I just came back from Umbria to see my good friend Daniele Martini and all his friends, and it's going to be a spreadable beer. Yeah. So it's a beer that is worked down to a consistency of honey, but it's not honey, it's beer. Right, okay. On your charcuterie platter, or your desserts, on savory pizza, on focaccia, when it's cold, you can put it on top of it. It works well. I did a crostino with mozzarella and the spreadable beer and an Italian Amarene from Fabri. That's another company that I also endorse a lot. It's a company that makes not only Italian base for gelato, and it makes also a lot of pastry products, but I also make the best cherries, wild sour cherries from Italy, which are amazing. And they could be used on your pizza. You can do a nice, beautiful crust with whipping cream and the cherries on top. I also endorse a lot of olive oil companies that they're doing a very good job. Extra virgin olive oil, I believe that that is a secret to a great finishing of your pizza. I have seen a lot of people using sunflower seeds oil, even in Italy. I've seen even in Italy, Pizzeria, that they are VPN, unfortunately, using sunflower seeds oil, and I wasn't happy about it. So I think a good extra virgin olive oil could be the solution to it, to keep going with a great pizza. But I don't want to hear any more of the excuses. The customer don't like it because it's bittery and peppery, because that's how we made it our whole life. And it's about time to go back to the real tradition. So great point that I want to make is, yes, things here are a little bit different, but things, unfortunately, are changing in Italy as well.
Apparently you got into judging right away into the Iron Chef.
Yes.
So let's just say, man, what was the best, I was going to say best and worst dish you've ever judged, and why? You can pick one.
Best, I have to be honest with you, everything that came out from Bedolo Parmigiano Reggiano was definitely the best I tried in a long time. And I remember Mario Batali wasn't there. And I remember Bedolo Parmigiano actually ran twice of different chefs. That was probably the best. And Mario put some pasta right into this big wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano and lit it on fire with some grappa. And the flavor profiles that came out of there was amazing. The worst, I'm sorry to my good friend Emma Hurst, which was the youngest Iron Chef contestant on Iron Chef. Very talented chef, but burrata on top of mussels was not for me. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm sure you talked with Emma and she understands it.
It's my own point of view. It's not actually that it's not good to do it. Definitely, whatever I'm saying is according to my taste and
exactly.
buds and flavor profile. I mean, but even to say worst on Kitchen Stadium, the worst that we find there is that even better than many other restaurants out there.
Right. Well, and this is what we're saying. This is just an interview. Emma Hurst, if you're watching, Emma Hurst, let me do it over here. Emma Hurst, we're not pulling you out. This was just his personal taste.
No.
You come make a pizza for us, I might love it. Let's do it.
No, but Emma is great. She's a very talented chef. She's amazing, and I think that don't forget one thing, guys. A lot of people always ask me, "Oh, why can you get me an Iron Chef? Can you get me an Iron Chef? Come on, what do I have to do to get an Iron Chef?" Do you guys really want to go on Iron Chef where you're gonna be there for one day? You don't know any piece of equipment there. You don't know where the stuff is located. You're under pressure for 60 minutes because the cooking really happens for 60 minutes. I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes it's just for the pride of it. I prefer to get a better exposure somewhere else at this point. So you know what I mean? So
right.
But Emma did an excellent job, and she was against Michael Simon at that time, but she did a great job. She made it from scratch, the burrata, and she made the mozzarella from scratch. So there is a lot to admire, and. I'm sorry, Emma, I still like you, but please don't take it personally. It's just an interview.
How important do you think it is to buy local ingredients in your pizzerias?
I'm a little bit more like, please let's use product that they're naturally grown and they are grown in season. So I'm okay with locally grown as well, but in season, they're not off season. Because you can have locally grown tomatoes in January right now. And I think, again, all these greenhouses, they need to be heated up because they need to support the fact that the tomatoes need a certain temperature. The pollution will increase. So let's say that I respect pizzeria that buy locally grown ingredients in season.
That's perfect. That's a great answer right there. Locally grown in season. Honestly, Mario, I really appreciate all the time you've taken out today. You're a busy man.
Yeah, running around.
You're coming up with this recipe. I've been hounding you for weeks.
Yes.
Just harassing the crap out of you. So, all right. Well, Mario, thank you so much for all the great information you gave us today. So if people want to get in touch with you about the For the Love of Italian food tour, where do they go?
Well, definitely you can contact me on my webpage. You can visit mariorizzotti.com, Rizzotti.com. You can definitely click on contact, and then we'll be glad to actually reply to your request or any email that you have to send it to me. And also you can visit my store on there, and you can visit also the tour. Everything is in there, and we can get you all the information that you need. And if you like some authentic Italian ingredients, that's where you can find them as well.
All right, so you're going to be selling us the ingredients, giving people a chance to figure out where the tour is going to happen. Now, if somebody wants to be on the tour, that's the same email that they can email you at.
Yes, you can actually, to make life easier for the listeners and the viewers, it's going to be info, I-N-F-O, at mariorizzotti.com, MARIORIZZOTTI.com.
That sounds great, Mario. I really appreciate all the time that you given to us today. We hope to have you in the kitchen. Hopefully, I will be in Chicago in the next few months, so we can actually get together and do some stuff. Once again, I thank you so much for your time. We're going to put this up and make sure that everybody sees you. So,
my pleasure. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to see the final results of this beautiful interview. And as well, also, Brian, definitely one of the best interviews I ever got. And I see also the passion for what you do coming out of you. So keep up the great work and show other people how this needs to be done.
Well, Mario, thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate it. I'm Brian Hernandez. This is Chef's Corner with Mario Rizzotti. Give us a big smile and a wave.
Ciao a tutti, arrivederci. Viva la pizza, 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 pizza. Ciao. Viva la pizza. I love pizza. So only pizza, Italian pizza.
All right, we'll see you guys next time on the Chef's Corner.
Ciao.